YouTube channel mainly with the idea of being able to document Jackson's progress from a racehorse to a show horse, but I thought it would be remiss of me to leave out that I actually do have another horse. Moosey, come on. Her name is Roxy, and she is a 7 or 8 year old off the track thoroughbred. She's only very, very small, only just 15 hands, just out of pony, and I've had her for a couple of years. She was one that was given to me to rehome, find a new home for, which I do sometimes for people. My farrier actually bred her as a racehorse, and she was too small. She had a couple of trials, but she wasn't much good. So, come on. He asked me to take her and find her a home. She was sort of one that was not really going to be rehomeable straight away. Come on, good girl. She was just a little bit sensitive. She probably didn't have like the size or scope to really make it as a nice show horse or eventer. So her real only option was going to be if I kept her and educated her as a juniors horse, which I do think she will eventually become. She's such a good girl. She's been a bit tricky on the ground. She's always been really good to ride. She's never had any dirt in her. She gets a little bit herd bound, and you know, she's been a little bit tricky to float, but we've sort of got on top of those issues now, and she's going really super. I'm really wrapped with her. So the plan will be to sell her eventually, but I'm in no rush. She's been out to a few dressage shows, and I would really love to get her up to sort of elementary before I am ready to sell her. Come on. She's such a good girl. She's not very spooky. Walk straight past the bin. Come on. So this is my little mare, Roxy. She actually gets called Missy or Missy Moo or Moo Mare much more than she ever gets called Roxy. She's a little cutie, isn't she? Hey? So I thought I might do this as a bit of a lesson vlog slash meet Miss Mare vlog. So I'm almost home from my hack. Just went for a little walk down the street, did a bit of leg yield up and down the road, kept her nice and relaxed, let her have a pick. She's extremely greedy. If I stop, she'll probably duck her head down and eat, I reckon. You want some eat? Oh yeah, so greedy, aren't you, lady? Okay, come on. So we have a lesson tomorrow, which is why I just gave her a quiet road. Oh, Missy, oh, Missy. Good girl. Good little lady. Come on. So I have a lesson tomorrow, and I'll try and get some footage of that. Come on. In you go. It's just water. And look who that Mr. Handsome Man is. It's Jacko. He's having some naked time after I rode him. Mersey loves Jacko, don't you? Everyone loves Jacko. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't love Jacko? Oh, he's so beautiful. Look at that coat coming through. Hey? So because I just took her for a little hack down the road today, I rode Missy Moo in her little jumping saddle. So I gave all my gear a nice clean, all ready for my lesson tomorrow. Cleaned my bridle, my saddle, and I packed up a little bag with some boots, some polos, saddle pad, brushes, because I have to work in the morning, so I like to be as organised as I can be the day before. I'm so glad Mum got some video of my warm-up. This is how I ride my little mare every day when I first get on her. And even when I take her to a show, this is how I would warm her up. It's actually very similar to the posture that I'm asking Jackson to work in at the moment, although he's not quite as consistent in it yet as she is. She's done this for a couple of years. She knows every single time I ride her, I'm going to ask her to go a little bit deeper and stretch into my contact and be very relaxed, bend around my inside leg. I do this at a walk, a trot and a canter. When I canter her, I tend to get off her back a bit and just let her be as loose and relaxed as she can be. So yeah, this is my warm-up process and the beginnings of how I start my young horses when I'm first riding them. This is all I really expect of them. So we also set up a little exercise for her, which is just the beginnings of some lateral work. You can see she gets a little bit sticky and tight. She doesn't really understand it yet, but just starting to introduce the concept to her more than anything. In our trot work, we worked on some lengthening and shortening of the strides, trying not to lose our rhythm and tempo, and also me working on slowing her off my seat and keeping my leg on more when I ask for the slower, more powerful strides.
Now allow the trot just a little bit bigger. Not faster, but just bigger. There, good. Good. Yeah, very nice. Flex a little bit. Good. That's it. Nice touch. Again, touch. Flex her, soften her. Good. Allow that trot to open. Yeah, good.
I tried to include as much audio as I can. Unfortunately, it was very windy, so some of the audio you can't really hear just because of the wind. So I thought I'll do a little bit of voiceover too. So my coach was asking me to really try and slow her with my seat, but keep the steps nice and active. And then when I asked for the lengthened strides, to really let her stretch into my hands.
Yeah, let it go. That's it. Good. Now, quick, stop sitting. This time, what is the stretch for? Okay, so not higher. Yeah. Right.
So we did the same thing in the canter, lengthening her along the long side and then asking her to come back to me a little bit on the short sides using my seat. We struggled a little bit with this exercise, and then the other exercise we did, which was simple changes. Again, I really have to learn to use my seat a little bit more effectively and not just pull back on the reins. But we're getting there. It's all a learning process. So we're home now from our lesson, and now you've all met little Miss Mare. See? She was a very good girl. I was so pleased with her today. It's starting to get quite tricky for her, but she's doing such a good job. For just a little mare. Hey? So I hope that you enjoyed my video about my little mare, and you will come along next time to see her again. Say bye, Moosie.